Welcome everyone. Today we are going to talk about something that can change the way you study forever. We are not talking about learning faster. We are not talking about studying harder. We are talking about something even more important than that. How to remember what you study. Because if you study for hours and forget everything during the exam, what is the point? If you spend your nights reading books but cannot recall anything when you need it, what is the use? This is the truth most students never talk about. It is not about how much you study. It is about how much you actually remember. Think about it. How many times have you studied a chapter, felt confident, and then 1 week later forgotten everything? How many times have you revised something again and again, but when someone asks you a question, your mind goes blank? That moment, that silence, that fear, it does not happen because you are not smart. It happens because you never trained your memory. And that is why this video exists. Today, I am not just going to give you tips. I am going to teach you how your memory works, how your brain learns, why it forgets, and how you can fix it for life. This is a real-life skill. It will help you in every subject, every exam, every job, and every goal. Because in the real world, the person who remembers more, learns faster, and studies smarter becomes unstoppable. So if you are tired of forgetting, tired of wasting time on study methods that do not work, and if you want to become the kind of person who studies once and remembers for life, stay with me. What I am about to tell you is something no teacher ever explained and no school ever taught. But it is a secret that can change your entire learning journey. And if you want to train your brain, remember faster, and improve your English speaking as well, make sure to subscribe. Let us grow together. How your memory works. Before I give you techniques, before I tell you what to do, we must understand something very important. How your brain actually remembers. If you do not understand how memory works, you will keep using the wrong methods. You will keep blaming yourself for forgetting. And you will never fix the real problem. But once you understand this, everything changes. Sensory memory, the first filter. Imagine you walk into a library. You see books everywhere. You hear pages turning. You feel the cold air. You smell the paper. You feel the weight of your bag. All of this enters your brain at the same time. But do you remember all of it? No, because your brain does not keep everything. This is sensory memory. It is the first level of memory. It captures what you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. But here is the key. It lasts only a few seconds. If you do not pay attention, the information disappears. If someone shows you a word for a second and hides it, you will remember it only if you were focused. If you were distracted, it is gone. The lesson is simple. Attention is the first step to memory. If your phone is beside you, if your mind is elsewhere, your brain deletes the information like a useless file. That is why some people read the same page again and again but remember nothing. Not because they are weak, but because their attention is weak. No attention means no memory. Short-term memory, the temporary table. If you focus, the information moves to short-term memory. Think of short-term memory like a small table. You can place a few things on it, but not too many. Your brain can hold only a limited amount of information for a short time. If the information feels important, repeated, emotional, or meaningful, your brain tries to save it. If not, it throws it away. Short-term memory is temporary. To make learning permanent, you must help the brain move information forward. You do this by repeating, connecting, and caring. Long-term memory, the brain's library. This is where real learning happens. Long-term memory is your brain's library. Your name, your childhood memories, your skills, your experiences, all live here. Information reaches long-term memory only when you give attention, repeat actively, connect meaning, feel emotion, rest well, and review regularly. Imagine two students studying the same topic. One reads once with no interest and no revision. The other explains it, makes a mind map, connects it to real life, discusses it, and reviews later. The second student remembers more. Not because of talent, but because of training. Memory is not a gift. It is a skill, and you can train it. Technique 1. Learn like you will teach. Most people study to pass, not to understand. They memorize, highlight, and reread. But when asked to explain, they freeze. That is because they never made the knowledge their own. This method is called the Feynman technique, named after Richard Feynman, a Nobel Prize-winning scientist. He believed that if you cannot explain something simply, you do not truly understand it. Here is how it works. First, study with the mindset of a teacher. Do not think, I need to memorize this. Think, I need to teach this to someone who knows nothing. This changes everything. You look for meaning. You ask better questions. You understand deeply. Second, close the book and explain it out loud. Speak clearly. Pretend someone is listening to you and learning from you. If you get stuck, that is not failure. That is feedback. It shows you exactly what you need to review. When you can explain a topic simply and confidently, your memory becomes strong and permanent. Memory is not about being smart. It is about using the right method. And once you learn how your brain works, learning becomes easier, faster, and more powerful than ever. Writing. Can you explain this topic to me? And now you are responsible for their understanding. Here is what happens when you speak out loud. You discover what you actually know. You notice what you do not understand yet. Your confidence increases. Your memory becomes deeper and stronger. And your fear of exams or interviews slowly disappears. Let me give you an example. Imagine you are studying photosynthesis in biology. After reading once, close the book and say, photosynthesis is the process by which green plants make their own food using sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water. The plant absorbs sunlight through its leaves, takes in water from the roots, and carbon dioxide from the air. This process happens inside the chloroplasts of plant cells, and the result is glucose, which provides food and energy for the plant. Notice what just happened. You did not memorize. You understood. And because you understood, you will remember it. Now comes the next step. Find the gaps and fix them. When you explain something out loud, you will forget certain points. You will suddenly think, wait, what comes next? Where does the glucose go? Why is chlorophyll important? This is not a problem. This is powerful. Your brain is showing you the missing pieces. Now go back to your book or notes, find the answer, and explain it again. This find and fix method is one of the most powerful learning tools in the world. Most students never do this. They only read. But reading is input. Real memory is created through output. And speaking out loud is the best form of output. Teach someone else. If possible, teach another person. A friend, a family member, or even a younger sibling. Just say, can I explain something to you for 2 minutes? It does not matter if they understand the subject or not. The goal is not their learning. The goal is your learning. The more you explain, the more you remember. Ask yourself after every study session, could I explain this to a child? If the answer is yes, you have truly learned it. If the answer is no, go back and explain it again. Because teaching is not the final step of learning. Teaching is how real learning begins. If you want to remember anything for a long time, study like a teacher, explain like a master, and your brain will not forget. Develop passion towards study. The emotion-memory connection. Let us be honest. The real reason you forget what you study is not because the subject is difficult. It is because you do not care about it. Think about it. You remember your favorite actor's birthday. You remember the lyrics of a song you heard only a few times. You remember something someone said to you years ago. Why? Because there was emotion. There was meaning. Now compare that with a boring chapter, a formula you dislike, or a list of dates. You forget them again and again because there is no feeling attached. Here is the truth. The brain remembers what it feels, not what it reads. The stronger the emotion, the stronger the memory. How to create passion while studying. First, connect your studies to your dreams. Do not study biology. Study how the human body works so you can become a doctor. Do not study mathematics. Study problem solving so you can become successful in business. Do not study English. Study communication so you can speak confidently in interviews and real-life situations. When you connect subjects to your future goals, your mind says, this is important. And important information stays longer. Second, use imagination. Even the most boring subject becomes interesting when you add imagination. If you are studying chemistry, imagine elements as characters in a movie. Hydrogen is energetic. Oxygen is loyal. Carbon is creative and connects everyone. It may sound childish, but it works, because the brain remembers stories better than facts. Third, change your environment. Passion is not only mental, it is physical. If you study on your bed with noise and distractions, boredom is guaranteed. But if you create a clean, focused space, use soft music if it helps, keep a motivating quote nearby, your brain takes study seriously. Fourth, study in small sessions. Do not force yourself to love studying for hours. Study in short, focused sessions with small breaks. Success in small pieces builds motivation naturally. Fifth, reward yourself. After completing a chapter, give yourself something enjoyable. A walk, a snack, a short break. This trains your brain to associate study with positive feelings. You do not need to love every subject, but you must find a reason to care. Because the brain does not keep what is dry. The brain keeps what feels alive. And passion brings your studies to life. Study less, study smart. The 80-20 rule of learning. Most students who study for long hours waste most of their time using the wrong methods. They read, reread, highlight, stress, and still forget. Meanwhile, another student studies for a short time and remembers more. Why? Because one studies longer, the other studies smarter. This is the 80-20 rule. It means most results come from a small part of your effort. In a chapter, only a few ideas are truly important. In exams, only certain topics are tested repeatedly. So stop trying to learn everything equally. Ask yourself, what matters most? What does the teacher emphasize? What appears often in exams? Focus on those areas. If you already understand a topic well, stop revising it. Spend time on your weak points. That is where progress happens. Use active learning instead of passive reading. Recall. Explain. Test yourself. Teach out loud. The goal is not more hours. The goal is better results. Smart learning is strategic learning. Use the power of location. The memory palace technique. Your brain remembers places better than words. You remember your childhood home easily, but you forget definitions you read last week. That is because memory is visual and spatial. This is why memory champions use the memory palace technique. Imagine a familiar place like your home. Picture the front door, the rooms, the furniture. Now place information inside these locations. When you need to remember, simply walk through the place in your mind. Your brain loves space, images, and locations. And when you use them, memory becomes effortless. Imagine your home clearly. Your kitchen, your bedroom, your balcony. Each place is familiar and easy to visualize. Now imagine you want to remember the causes of World War I. Alliance system, nationalism, assassination, militarism, imperialism. Instead of writing them again and again, do this. Picture two people shaking hands at your front door. That represents alliances. Imagine a giant national flag waving inside your living room. That represents nationalism. Picture a newspaper headline about an assassination lying on your kitchen table. Imagine tanks and guns spread across your bedroom floor. That represents militarism. Finally, imagine a king pointing at a world map in your bathroom mirror. That represents imperialism. Now walk through your house in your mind. As you move from room to room, each location triggers a strong image. And each image helps you remember one key point. This is the power of the memory palace. Why does it work? Because instead of forcing your brain to remember dry facts, you attach information to something familiar. You add strong visual images, emotional or even funny ones, and you place them in a clear, logical path. This activates both sides of your brain. Logic through the list, imagination through the palace. When both work together, memory becomes much stronger. You can use this technique anywhere, for history dates, for definitions, for speeches and presentations, for scientific terms, for essays and key points. Even if you forget one item, the path of your memory palace guides you to the next. Use emotion in your images. The crazier or funnier, the better. Use places you know well. Your home, your school, your street, park. Review your memory palace for a few minutes each day. Build different palaces for different topics. Most students try to force facts into their brain. But the brain does not like force. It likes stories. It likes images. It likes movement and space. And the memory palace gives you all of that. If you have ever said, "I cannot memorize," try this once. It may become your superpower. Study in the morning. Unlock the brain's golden hours. The time you study matters. If you study at the wrong time, you forget more. If you study at the right time, you remember more. Science agrees. Your brain follows a natural rhythm called the circadian rhythm. It controls your sleep, energy, focus, and memory. In the morning, especially soon after waking up, your brain is at its strongest. It is fresh. It is quiet. There is no mental noise yet. Your focus is higher. Your willpower is stronger. Your ability to learn deeply is greater. This is the golden learning window. Many great thinkers and learners used early mornings for their most important work. Not because it sounds motivational, but because it works. At night, your brain is tired. You have made many decisions all day. Your focus drops. Memory formation becomes weaker. That is why many students say, "I studied it, but I forgot it in the exam." Their brain was too tired to store it properly. Here is how to use mornings effectively. Sleep on time so your brain can rest properly. You do not need to wake up extremely early. What matters is using your first hours wisely. Avoid distractions at the start of the day. Do not check your phone or social media immediately. Your brain is clean at this time. Do not fill it with noise. Use mornings for your hardest subjects. Do difficult work first. Save easy tasks for later. Even one focused morning study session can be more powerful than many tired hours at night. It is not just how long you study. It is when you study. Rest to remember more. The forgotten rule of memory. Here is the truth. You do not remember while studying. You remember while resting. Real memory formation happens after you stop studying. When you study, your brain receives information. This is called encoding. But that information is still weak. Like wet cement. It needs time to settle and become strong. This happens during rest, especially sleep and short breaks. During rest, your brain organizes information. It removes what is unnecessary. Connects new knowledge to old knowledge. Without rest, memory fades quickly. If you study for long hours without breaks, your brain cannot process properly. You feel tired and confused. And soon you forget. Study in focused sessions. Then take short breaks. During breaks, move your body, breathe, relax. Avoid filling your brain with noise. Sleep is especially powerful. If you revise before sleeping and rest well, your brain strengthens memory overnight. But if you study and then scroll on your phone, the memory weakens. Rest is not wasted time. It is when your brain saves what you learned. Memory is built in silence, in pauses, in sleep. So do not just study hard. Rest smart. Active recall, the secret weapon of strong memory. After studying a chapter, most students reread it again. That feels productive. But it is not. The brain does not remember what you review. It remembers what you retrieve. Active recall means testing yourself. Trying to remember without looking. Close the book. Ask yourself questions. Pull information out of your brain. This is how memory grows stronger. Reading is input. Recall is output. And memory is built through output. Use self-testing. Use flashcards. Use practice questions. Explain topics out loud. Every time you try to remember, your brain strengthens the memory path. Stop asking, "How many times should I read this?" Start asking, "Can I remember this without looking?" That is real learning. Mind mapping. Think the way your brain thinks. Your brain does not think in paragraphs. It thinks in ideas, images, and connections. That is why long text feels tiring. But visuals feel easy. A mind map turns information into a visual structure. You place the main topic at the center. Then draw branches for subtopics. then smaller branches for details. Everything is connected, clear, organized. This matches how your brain naturally works. When you study this way, learning becomes faster, clearer, and more memorable. Because you are no longer fighting your brain. You are working with it. Each branch of your mind map can include arrows, diagrams, symbols, or colors. Now you have transformed a boring page of text into a clear, connected map. And your brain loves this. Mind mapping activates multiple parts of your brain at the same time. Visual memory, logical structure, creativity, color association, pattern recognition. This creates strong mental connections. Even if you forget one part, you can move through the map and reach the answer. It is like storing memory in a web instead of a box. If one part is weak, the rest still holds strong. How to create a powerful mind map. Use plain paper instead of ruled notebooks. This gives your brain freedom to move in any direction. Start with one clear word or topic in the center. Use a circle or shape to highlight it. Draw thick branches for main ideas. Use thinner branches for details and examples. Use different colors for different branches. Color helps your brain separate ideas clearly. Add small images or symbols. A sun for energy. A book for theory. A clock for history. Anything that adds meaning. Do not write full sentences. Use only keywords or short phrases. Where to use mind mapping. After finishing a chapter. Before exams. To summarize long topics. To plan essays or speeches. To connect ideas across subjects. It works for science, history, languages, and even math. Textbooks are designed for teachers. Mind maps are designed for your brain. If you want to study less and remember more, revise faster and understand deeper, make mind mapping a habit. Stop copying notes blindly. Start mapping your thoughts and unlock the memory you never knew you had. Use emotion and imagination. Make boring things unforgettable. Here is something you already know. You always remember what made you feel something. You may forget a chapter you read many times, but you remember a movie you watched years ago. You may forget a topic name, but you remember the moment you felt embarrassed or praised. Why does this happen? Because the brain does not store information based on importance. It stores information based on emotion. If something is emotional, it stays. If something is boring, it disappears. The solution is emotional imagination. This means using imagination to attach feelings, stories, images, or exaggeration to what you want to remember. This technique is used by memory champions to remember names, numbers, speeches, facts, and even entire books. The more you feel something, the less you forget it. Turn facts into stories. Instead of memorizing facts, create stories. Instead of remembering that protons are positive, electrons are negative, and neutrons are neutral, imagine three brothers. One is always happy and positive. One is always negative and moody. One is calm and neutral. They live together inside the atom kingdom. You will never forget this. Use visual images. To remember chemical formulas or vocabulary, create colorful images. To remember oxygen, imagine two giant oxygen tanks dancing in the sky. To remember a famous physics formula, imagine a superhero wearing it on a glowing cape. The stranger the image, the stronger the memory. Use humor or drama. If something feels boring, make it funny or dramatic. To remember that the heart has 4 chambers, imagine a hotel called Heart Inn with 4 doors, each opening to dancing blood cells. Sounds silly, but it works. Because your brain notices what is unusual. Why this works? Your brain has an emotional center that decides what is worth saving. When emotion is present, your brain says, "This is important. Keep it." That is why you remember emotional moments from childhood or special moments with family. If you give your study material the same emotional power, your memory improves naturally. You do not have a memory problem. You have a meaning problem. Your brain forgets what you do not care about. So stop memorizing like a machine. Start learning like a storyteller. Feel it, see it, imagine it, and your memory will become unforgettable. Speak what you study. Train your mouth to train your brain. Most students study silently. They read quietly. They think quietly. Then, during exams or presentations, they freeze. Why? Because the brain knows the information, but the mouth was never trained to speak it. This creates a gap between knowledge and expression. To remember better, you must start speaking while you learn. When you speak out loud, you activate vocal memory. You slow down your thoughts. You organize ideas better. You hear yourself, which creates a second learning channel. This builds confidence and clarity. How to use this technique. Read out loud when possible. Move your lips. Use your voice. Explain topics to yourself after studying. Close the book and speak. Do not worry about perfect words. Just explain what you know. For example, explain a topic as if teaching someone else. You are now training recall, organization, and speaking at the same time. This creates deep, long-lasting memory. Teach the wall technique. If no one is around, stand in front of a wall or mirror. Pretend it is a classroom. Say, "Good morning. Today I will explain this topic." It may feel strange, but it works because intention makes the brain alert and serious. Reading alone is not enough. Writing alone is not enough. Speaking completes the learning cycle. So every time you study something new, ask yourself, have I spoken this out loud at least once? Because when your mouth trains your brain, your knowledge becomes strong and reliable. Now you know the truth. You do not need a perfect brain. You need the right strategy. Apply these techniques. Train your brain. And watch how easily you remember what you study, clearly, confidently, and for the long term. If this helped you, subscribe and stay connected. This is only the beginning.